1050 species in genus Salvia. What is salvia? When I first encountered salvia plants, I was immediately drawn to their variety and beauty. Salvia is a genus of flowering plants within the mint family, Lamiaceae, and it is incredibly diverse. It includes species that range from annuals to perennials, as well as herbs and shrubs. I've had the opportunity to experiment with several varieties over the years, and what I've learned is that these plants offer much more than just aesthetic appeal. They come with a wide range of uses, from culinary to medicinal, and some species can even help attract pollinators to your garden. Let me share my experiences with salvia, exploring the plant's key features, growing tips, and why I think they deserve a spot in any garden. The allure of salvia, beauty and diversity. One of the first things that stood out to me about salvia is its immense diversity. Some species are native to temperate regions, while others thrive in subtropical climates. This makes salvia suitable for various garden types, from dry, rocky landscapes to rich, fertile garden beds. Over the years, I've enjoyed growing varieties like Salvia nemorosa, which has deep purple spikes that contrast beautifully with the green foliage, and Salvia splendens, which brings a burst of vibrant red to the garden. What I find most fascinating about salvia is its ability to attract pollinators. Whether it's bees, butterflies, or hummingbirds, these plants serve as a natural magnet for wildlife. I've had entire sections of my garden humming with activity whenever my salvia varieties were in bloom. This isn't just a visual delight, but also beneficial for the overall health of the garden. See full list at monsteraholic.com. Is salvia legal? While salvia has a reputation for being a bit tricky with legality, in most places it's perfectly legal for garden use. Where to buy salvia? I usually find salvia at local garden centers or online nurseries, where it's often well-stocked and readily available. Is salvia a perennial? Salvia is typically a perennial in my garden, coming back year after year with minimal fuss. How long does salvia last? In my experience, salvia lasts well through the growing season, blooming from early summer until frost. How to care for salvia? I've found that salvia thrives with basic care. Well-drained soil, moderate watering, and a sunny spot seem to do the trick. Is salvia deer-resistant? My salvias have proven to be quite deer-resistant, as the deer in my area tend to leave them alone. What does salvia do? Salvia does a great job of attracting pollinators, and I've noticed it's a favorite for both bees and hummingbirds in my garden. How to deadhead salvias? Deadheading salvias has been straightforward. I simply pinch off the spent blooms to encourage more flowers. Is salvia poisonous to dogs? I've found that salvia is not toxic to dogs, making it a safe choice for pet-friendly gardens. Does salvia bloom all summer? From my experience, salvias continue to bloom throughout the summer, adding color to my garden for months. Is salvia edible? I haven't tried eating salvia myself, but I know that some types are edible and have been used in culinary dishes. Is salvia toxic to cats? Salvia doesn't seem to be toxic to cats either, so I haven't worried about my feline friends being exposed. Can you divide salvias? Dividing salvias has been a success for me. They're quite resilient and recover well when separated and replanted. How to keep salvia blooming? To keep salvia blooming, I make sure to deadhead regularly and provide adequate sunlight. Is salvia drought tolerant? I've found salvia to be fairly drought tolerant, enduring dry spells better than some other plants in my garden. Can salvias grow in shade? While they prefer full sun, salvias have managed to grow in partial shade in my garden, though they don't bloom as profusely. Do bees like salvias? Bees flock to my salvias, which is always a welcome sight in my garden. Do salvias attract hummingbirds? Salvias are fantastic for attracting hummingbirds. I've seen them hover around my plants frequently. How much water do salvias need? I water my salvias moderately, ensuring the soil is moist but not waterlogged. Salvia versus lavender. In my garden, salvia has always outshone lavender for its vibrant, long-lasting blooms, but lavender's calming scent and compact growth are unbeatable for a herb garden. Salvia versus weed. Salvia has proven to be much easier to manage than weeds, which tend to invade every corner of my garden and choke out my more delicate plants. Salvia versus sage. While sage has a robust, earthy flavor that adds depth to my cooking, salvia's stunning flower spikes and easy care make it my go-to for adding color and charm to garden beds. Salvia versus catmint. Catmint is great for attracting pollinators and has a wonderful, minty aroma, but I find Salvia's bold blooms and drought tolerance more suited to my low-maintenance garden needs. Salvia versus Russian sage. Russian sage has a lovely, airy quality that's perfect for filling space, but I prefer Salvia for its more intense color and longer blooming period, which really pops in my flower beds. Salvia versus Veronica. Veronica's compact, spike-like flowers are charming, but I found that Salvia's larger, more vibrant blooms provide a bolder splash of color in my garden. Salvia versus Sativa. Salvia's stunning flower displays far exceed the visual appeal of Sativa, which is more commonly known for its medicinal properties than for enhancing garden aesthetics. Salvia versus Spice. Spice plants often require more specific conditions, whereas Salvia's versatility and resistance to drought make it a more reliable choice for adding a splash of color to any part of my garden. Salvia versus Catnip. Catnip's playful effect on cats is entertaining, but Salvia's long-lasting, vibrant flowers and minimal care requirements make it a more dependable option for my garden's color scheme. Salvia versus Datura. Datura's striking, trumpet-shaped flowers are certainly eye-catching, but Salvia's more manageable size and longer blooming season make it a better fit for my garden's overall look. Salvia versus Marijuana. In my experience, Salvia's ornamental qualities and ease of care far outweigh the practical uses of marijuana, especially for those looking for a visually appealing and low-maintenance garden plant. Salvia versus Mushrooms. While mushrooms add an intriguing and sometimes whimsical touch to my garden's undergrowth, Salvia's vibrant blooms and easy care make it the standout choice for maintaining a beautiful and hassle-free garden.